The original Super Mario Bros. Celebrates its 35th anniversary in 2020, so I've decided to go through and give my thoughts on one of my favorite childhood video game franchises. Despite growing up with the NES games and enjoying Mario's later 2D outings, I still tend to prefer the 3D entries in the series, so I'll be focusing on those for now. Starting with Super Mario 64, this was a launch title for the Nintendo 64 in 1996, and was incredibly successful and revolutionary as an early 3D platformer. But since I didn't own a Nintendo 64 then, the first time I technically played it was the 2004 DS remake. With no nostalgia for the original in particular, let's take a look at both versions of Super Mario 64. Starting with the story, Princess Peach invites Mario to her castle for cake. When he arrives, he finds out that Bowser has imprisoned her and her toad attendants inside of the castle's walls and paintings, along with hiding 120 power stars that Mario must collect to save them. Regarding the presentation, the low-resolution environments and character models don't look particularly appealing by today's standards, but I imagine they were incredibly impressive at the time. On the other hand, the music is mostly fantastic. A lot of this game's soundtrack is fondly remembered to this day, such as the song that plays in Jolly Roger Bay, the side levels music, and the credits theme. Moving on to the gameplay, Super Mario 64 is focused on exploration-based platforming instead of the linear structure of the 2D games. Princess Peach's castle serves as a central hub with portals and paintings and specific walls that lead to a variety of levels. Certain rooms and areas of the castle can also only be accessed when you have enough power stars or collect keys from special Bowser stages. The final level only requires 70 power stars, so you can skip quite a few of them and prioritize the ones that seem more fun to collect. There are 15 main levels, known as courses, and each one has 7 stars. Every course has a star for collecting 8 red coins, and 1 for collecting 100 regular coins. The remaining 5 in each course require a variety of tasks to collect them, ranging from finding the stars out in the open to defeating certain enemies or bosses. When you enter a course, you can choose which star to find, with each one's title acting as a hint for obtaining that specific star. Some can only be accessed by selecting a specific mission, but you can collect quite a few of them in any order. The remaining 15 are called Secret Stars and are found outside of the regular courses, including red coin challenges and Bowser levels, certain secret levels, or by talking to specific toads. The courses themselves feel distinct in terms of visuals and layouts. Some are open landscapes while others are mainly vertical. There's also a lot of variety to the level themes, such as courses based on water, snow, or even lava. Even when themes repeat, the levels still manage to feel unique enough. Certain levels even have gimmicks when entering their paintings, like influencing the clock's speed in Tick-Tock Clock depending on the clock hands of the painting, or determining the initial water level of Wet Dry World based on how you jump into the painting. Regarding Mario himself, he's a bit more versatile than in his side-scrolling adventures. For the first time in the series, he has a health meter. Different types of damage take away more or less health, and you can recover health by passing through special heart items or collecting coins. Mario's moveset is extremely robust as well. In addition to standard jumps, you can also chain together up to 3 jumps for extra height, or perform side flips, long jumps, backflips, wall jumps, and even mid-air dives. Some enemies can't be defeated by jumping on them, so you can also attack with punches and kicks, by throwing enemies, or with a new stomp technique called the ground pound. There's also new power-ups as well. Special blocks can contain different types of caps that can let you fly, turn you invisible, or turn you into a heavier metal form. In general, the controls are okay for being an early attempt at 3D movement, but they do tend to be my biggest issue with the game. Being able to walk or sneak by pushing lightly on the control stick adds a level of precision to Mario's movement, but other moves can feel a bit finicky, like wall jumps and side flips. The flight and swimming controls are also a bit tricky as well, especially since up and down movement is inverted in both cases. There are a few other problems that I wanted to mention as well. Except for the 100 coin stars and red coin stars in Bowser levels, collecting any other star will kick you out of the level, forcing you to re-enter each course after every mission. It's also a bit glitchy at times, including occasional collision issues with the environment and a frequently uncooperative camera. You can even skip large sections of the game with specific glitches, hence my lower than normal star count in some of this footage. In 2004, Nintendo released Super Mario 64 DS as a launch title for the Nintendo DS. The core gameplay and story are intact, with a few small changes. Visually, the art style is much closer to modern Mario games, and it overall looks pretty good for an early DS game. It also takes advantage of the system's two screens, with the addition of a map on the bottom screen. Some of the notable gameplay changes include the ability to play as Mario, Luigi, Wario, or Yoshi, but you start as Yoshi and have to rescue the others. Each character has unique attributes, so the special caps are replaced with power flowers that give specific characters special abilities, such as making Mario float, Luigi invisible, or Wario metal. In addition to the power flower, there's also a regular mushroom item that can cause your character to grow and be able to easily destroy obstacles and enemies. Special caps for each character can also be equipped to quickly swap characters within a level, but you can lose the cap if you take damage from enemies. Another major difference is that this version has 30 new power stars, ranging from extra stars in existing levels to brand new areas. A few collectibles are obtained in different ways than in the original, including red coins or stars that can only be collected with specific characters' abilities, or missions that either have different objectives or even altered level layouts. Similar to the original, my biggest issue with this version are the controls. The DS doesn't have a control stick, so moving around is handled by the D-pad and the run button, or with the touchscreen. While serviceable, this doesn't provide the same level of precision as actual analog controls. The camera is still a bit cumbersome as well, but I do like the ability to recenter the camera in addition to simply panning the camera left and right. Super Mario 64 DS does have a few more features that I wanted to mention. This version includes bonus minigames that take advantage of the DS's two screens and touchscreen, and more can be unlocked by catching special rabbits with each character. There's also local multiplayer for up to 4 people, where you can compete to collect more stars than the other players in 4 levels from the main game. When comparing the two versions, both have their pros and cons. In general, I prefer the DS remake, partly because it was my first experience with the game, but also because I like a lot of the added content, including the extra playable characters, the new stars and levels, and even the minigames. I do think the N64 version controls a bit better at times, since the D-pad and run button setup and the touchscreen controls feel imprecise compared to analog movement. While Super Mario 64 was groundbreaking at the time, it's definitely showing its age. I'd still recommend at least trying one or both versions because of the original's importance to the genre and the gaming industry as a whole. There's definitely a learning curve because of how dated it can feel at times, but I still find it enjoyable in spite of some issues with the controls and camera, because of how fun it is to explore the many interesting and creative levels in the game. With that being said, thank you for watching, and next time, I'll be taking a look at my first 3D Mario game, Super Mario Sunshine.